In the labyrinth of life, some friendships light up our path with a glow so warm, we can't help but wonder if there could be something more. Faye and Paul shared such a friendship, a bond forged in the fires of high school and tempered by years of unspoken feelings. Their story is one of lingering glances, heartfelt conversations, and the unspoken tension of what-ifs. This is a tale of love that never fully blossomed, of dreams that were never quite realized, and of the poignant moment when the truth is finally revealed, but it's too late. Faye and Paul met in the hallways of Riverside High School. It was a time of locker slams, late-night cramming, and the sweet, chaotic rhythm of adolescence. Faye, with her gentle demeanor and a knack for making everyone feel at ease, was a natural at bringing people together. Paul, on the other hand, was the quintessential class clown, a brilliant mind masked by a mischievous grin. Their paths crossed one fateful day in Mrs. Thompson's algebra class. Paul, who had been struggling with quadratic equations, was about to give up when Faye, sitting a few rows ahead, noticed his frustration. She turned around, offered a soft smile, and whispered, "Need some help?" From that moment, an unexpected friendship was born. They became inseparable, partners in study and confidants in their shared experiences. Their bond deepened as they navigated the complexities of high school life together. They spent countless hours studying, laughing, and sharing their dreams for the future. Faye dreamed of becoming a writer, while Paul aspired to be an engineer. Despite their different career paths, their conversations flowed effortlessly, and their companionship grew stronger. As the years went by, the connection between Faye and Paul became something more than just friendship. They were acutely aware of the unspoken tension between them, a subtle electric charge that lingered in their interactions. Their feelings were undeniable, yet neither of them could muster the courage to confess. There were moments when their hands brushed against each other, or when their eyes met, and a silent understanding passed between them. But every time one of them came close to revealing their true feelings, they hesitated. The fear of jeopardizing their cherished friendship held them back. One summer evening, as they sat on the grassy hill overlooking their favorite park, Paul turned to Faye with a serious expression. "You know, I feel like we're missing something," he said softly. Faye's heart skipped a beat. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Paul hesitated, searching for the right words. "I don't know. It's like there's something we're not talking about. Something important." Faye's pulse quickened. She wanted to tell him how she felt, to lay her heart bare. But the words wouldn't come. Instead, she offered a non-committal smile. "Maybe it's just the summer heat getting to us." Paul laughed, but Faye could see the disappointment in his eyes. They spent the rest of the evening in silence, the weight of their unspoken feelings hanging heavy between them. Graduation came and went, and Faye and Paul went their separate ways for college. They kept in touch through phone calls and messages, their bond remaining strong despite the physical distance. Faye studied literature at a prestigious university, while Paul pursued engineering at a nearby college. Their conversations continued, filled with shared dreams and aspirations. Yet, the unspoken tension between them persisted. Every time they met, the familiarity of their friendship was tinged with a hint of regret. They were both acutely aware of the feelings that had never been addressed. One day, during a rare visit to Paul's college, Faye arrived with a heavy heart. She had finally decided that it was time to confess her feelings. As she approached Paul's dorm room, her hands trembled with anticipation and anxiety. Paul greeted her with his usual cheerful demeanor, but Faye noticed a glimmer of something different in his eyes. As they settled in for a quiet evening of reminiscing, Faye could no longer hold back. "Paul," she began, her voice trembling, "there's something I need to tell you." Paul looked up from his book, his expression shifting to one of concern. "What's wrong, Faye?" "I've been meaning to say this for a long time," Faye continued, "but I've been too scared. The truth is, I have feelings for you. I always have." Paul's face turned pale. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. Faye's heart sank as she saw the shock and confusion in his eyes. Before Paul could respond, Faye saw a glimpse of a ring on his finger, a subtle but unmistakable sign of an engagement. Her heart shattered as she realized the truth. The silence between them was deafening. Paul finally found his voice, but it was laced with sadness. "Faye, I didn't know how to tell you. I'm engaged. I'm getting married next month." Faye's world crumbled. The feelings she had kept buried for so long seemed to rise up and engulf her. "Paul, why didn't you tell me?" Paul's eyes were filled with regret. "I didn't want to ruin our friendship. I've always felt the same way about you, but I didn't think it was fair to let you know. I didn't want to complicate things." Faye struggled to hold back her tears. "I wish you had told me. I wish we had a chance to talk about this before it was too late." Paul reached out to comfort her, but Faye pulled away. "It's too late now. You've made your choice, and I need to respect that." The rest of their time together was filled with an awkward silence. They both knew that things would never be the same. Faye left Paul's dorm with a heavy heart, the realization of what could have been weighing heavily on her. The days following the revelation were a blur for Faye. She threw herself into her studies, trying to distract herself from the pain of losing Paul. She struggled with the bittersweet memories of their time together, and the dreams she had harbored about their future remained unfulfilled. Paul's wedding day arrived, and Faye attended with a heavy heart. She watched from the sidelines as Paul exchanged vows with his bride, feeling a profound sense of loss. The ceremony was beautiful, but it only served to remind her of what might have been. After the wedding, Faye and Paul had one final conversation. They both acknowledged the depth of their feelings and the sadness of the situation. They parted ways with a sense of closure, but the memories of their time together remained. Faye continued to live her life, carrying the lessons of her relationship with Paul with her. She embraced the future with a renewed sense of purpose, using her experiences to shape her journey. Though the pain of their unspoken love never fully disappeared, she found solace in the knowledge that she had been true to her feelings. As the years went by, Faye and Paul occasionally crossed paths, each time with a nod of recognition and a sense of mutual understanding. They both knew that their story was one of what could have been, but they also knew that they had grown from the experience. Their friendship had been a beacon in their lives, and while it was tinged with regret, it also held the warmth of the bond they had shared. In the end, Faye and Paul had learned that sometimes the most profound connections are the ones that remain unspoken, forever shaping the course of their lives. The stars that had once seemed so aligned had shifted, leaving Faye and Paul to navigate the paths of their lives with the wisdom of their past. Their story was a testament to the complexities of love and friendship, and a reminder that sometimes the most important truths are the ones we discover too late.